Good morning. So what are you working on this morning?
This is something I've had sitting in my box for about 2 years, and it's a game workshop Mortark, I think they're called, and I'm painting Neferata. So what I'm going to be doing this morning, I'm going to be airbrushing the dragon. I've actually painted one of these before, and I did it very much your typical dry, dusty bone, but I want to try something very different. And I'm going to be working a lot with blacks, so it's going to be more like an ebony fossil, if that makes sense.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
So yeah, I'm going to be mixing up some airbrush paints, and I thought I'd share that with your viewers as well today, how I do it.
That sounds good. That sounds good. We'll try and not do what we did last time, which is just chat so much neither of us got any painting done. It's all about finding that balance, getting those things
Yes.
working together. I've got something I'm going to be working on here if I get around to it as well. I'm just going to be working on this. I think it's a Jabberwock from Reaper Miniatures. I'm sure there are Reaper Miniatures experts in chat who can tell me. Um, because I was going to be doing. So I started painting on my Reaper Miniature stream. I started painting this guy who is the Chimera. I started painting him on my stream, only to find out that I was going to do him for Monster for the Reaper Challenge League, and then I found out that other people were doing him, so I could do him for the trio for the Reaper Challenge League. So I'm going to do him anyway. It's all, and I've
Uh,
just thrown the Chimera across my
don't want me to
desk.
speak too loud.
I have turned you down again, so
Okay, good, good.
I'm hoping that you're at a good volume. No one's. I'm hoping no one's eardrums have split in the meantime.
Yeah,
But yeah.
adjusting the microphone a lot at the moment.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So we're all good. All right. So yeah, that all sounds good. So I'll get on with stuff as well, and we can just kind of chat as we go, which is all good. All good. Did you say you're airbrushing?
Yes. So what I'm doing is one of the guys in the Goblins and Mordor Discord channel was asking me about spluttering and how to avoid it. And what I found recently is I'm now starting to mix my paint outside of the cup. And what I
Just
find really useful
can
is
I
just
just ask a really stupid question? When you say outside the cup, is the cup like the feeder into the air?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So sometimes referred to as the hopper.
Yeah.
So what I used to do before was I would put some thinner in, put some paint in. My dog
Oh,
is whining at me.
we've got another guest on the stream.
Do you want to be famous? No, no. He just whines when he just
No.
wants something. So
To be
apologies.
fair, I'm the same, so it's all good.
But what I found the problem was when I was mixing it.
I've just pulled my Jabberwock off its base. Sorry, carry on.
So when I was mixing it, I was getting kind of like a trifle effect where I'd have like different layers of consistency. So I'd
Right.
have thinner at the bottom and paint at the top, or the other way around. So what I've started doing now is actually mixing stuff in bottles before I put it into the airbrush. So what I'm using is a old Citadel shade that I've washed out, and I'll be honest, I just do it by feel. I know a lot of people say 50-50, but that's far too thin for me.
Right. So
So
the paint that you're using here is just a normal, brush on paint. And that's why you're diluting it. Is that right?
yeah, so I'm actually using the Villeco black primer,
Right.
which on its own is, I mean, you can put it through an airbrush, but you'll probably spend a lot of time cleaning it up.
That sounds about right.
The airbrush thinner is just to make it a little bit thinner, literally, does what it says on the tin. And the flow improver, and this is something I learned recently, is actually to prevent the tip from drying.
Oh, interesting. I saw somewhere that you can use. You can just use like fairy. I should. Other brands are available. Like washing up liquid as flow improver. It has the same kind of stuff in it, but I wouldn't necessarily
Yes,
recommend using that in your airbrush. But you
yeah.
certainly can.
I don't quite want a mild green Neferata, but
Ah, what a beautiful paint job and slightly lemony.
yeah, lemony.
Lemony fresh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but I've done that a little bit. So I made my own washes a while ago. I made my own equivalents of Nuln Oil and Agrax Earthshade. And yeah, I used just a tiny bit of fairy. No, again, it wasn't actually fairy liquid. I don't know why I keep saying it's fairy liquid. because it's not even what I used. But yeah, I used a little bit of washing up liquid just in there because yeah, that helps. It has a lot of the same because I guess it's because the washing up liquid has the stuff in there to break the surface tension
Yeah,
of the
it's the
water. It's
surface
exactly
tension
what
of
it
the
does.
water,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's one of the things that obviously I don't make paint on a full-time basis or anything, so but it's something that you wouldn't think of doing.
Mm.
So I mean, I know a lot of us add water to paints when we're doing our actual painting, but that's only just for the then and now. But if you're doing something that needs to last, then you need to be using the right chemicals, and that's essentially what paint is. It's all chemicals, isn't it? So
Yeah, and I think I might be wrong, but I've recently got another order in from Instar Paints, and they do a product called Water Plus, which I think is basically that. It's like water, but just with a tiny bit of stuff in it to break the surface tension. So yeah, it is that kind of thing. Like if you're watering it down a lot, you can get into trouble if you just lose water, can't you?
yeah,
Oh, fairy liquid is good for stripping plastic miniatures too, apparently. So I'm told. I would have thought you need something a bit stronger than that, but there you are. It's coming from a master of painting, so I'm not for a second doubting the accuracy of the
no,
statement.
I agree. I mean, who knows more about stripping than Mr. Morder himself?
Yes, well put, Andy. I do like as well. I'm just looking back over the chat a little bit. I do like the idea of someone is talking about adding the extra dimension of scent to your miniature painting. Someone is talking scratch and sniff. Has anyone thought of the idea of doing, scented miniatures as you paint them? I think I think we're onto something here.
I think yeah,
How
I
to
wouldn't
make our
want to do
millions.
Nurgle ones.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you don't want Nurgle pestilent smells, do you?
Although
Yeah.
I discovered that you know, they do the Harry Potter sweets, and if you remember from the movie, Dumbledore managed to pick up a vomit flavored one.
Oh, yeah, it's like every flavour sweets or something, isn't it? It's like
Yeah,
kind of like jelly beans, but not.
it turns out that vomit flavor is actually the same as Parmesan, because it's basically cow lining or something.
Oh, like rennet or something.
Yeah, I think yeah, that's it.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm probably putting some people off, so I do apologise.
Well, look, we've already had
So,
the question in chat. What do dragons smell like? So I think it's going to vary by colour, certainly.
burnt pork.
I think like red dragons, you've got to try and get some sulphur in there, haven't you? That kind of smell.
Hmm.
And yeah, blue dragons. I'm thinking like that kind of smell of like ozone when it's been hit by lightning, which is a bit of a weird smell. So yeah, I think we're onto something here. Scent base your dragons. Shall we? I think we should all go in on this together and make a set of like air fresheners that you hang up on the neck of your dragon to make it really smell like battle. I think we're onto something.
Yeah, we'll have to call it something, not magic tree, but something else.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess you
Magic tree
could.
of whoa.
Yeah, exactly. That's the Reaper thing, isn't it? Yeah, I love it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that would be us when we piss them off. The burnt pork smell. People
Yeah,
are saying, which is
we'll probably get 2 different lawsuits as well with that name.
oh well. If you're going for one, why not? Why not aim high and try and get 2 lawsuits?
Oh yeah.
You know, in for a penny, in for a pound. I'm very impressed that you're airbrushing just there. I know I don't do nearly as much airbrushing as I should really. Oh yeah, that's looking really good already. I always think like one of the reasons that I don't airbrush really is I always think I need to clear out the garage and do all those things for ventilation and stuff like that. But it's not. I know. Actually, having said that, I've watched your videos where you airbrush inside. So I don't know why this has come as a revelation to me. I'm just slow apparently.
It's a weird one because a lot of people I've seen people airbrushing and they've pretty much got a full hazmat suit on. And when I think about I know what's in the chemicals, and majority of it is alcohol. So the only major problem I'm probably going to have is getting drunk if I am going to be inhaling them.
Oh dear. I didn't realise I was going to have to deal with a drunk you as we were going on with this.
Oh, it's okay. I only exhale when I'm brushing.
I did not inhale. Sorry, we're going off on a tangent again. Oh, there you go. There's a question. How's your airbrush so quiet?
I've got the world's longest airbrush lead.
Oh, I see. So your compressor is in
it's
the
it's
next
actually
county?
just down there.
Oh, okay.
It's underneath the desk, and it's about a foot away from my right foot. But investing in pieces in the airbrush is great. It's really useful. I've also got a three-way splitter,
Ah, cool.
so which I'm not using at the moment because I mean that's useful if you got like two airbrushes and you want to be switching between two colors at once. So if I'm doing kind of like a wet blend effect, I'll have that ready.
Yes, because I
Because
imagine that changing a paint in a single airbrush. I've never tried to do two in direct succession, but I imagine trying to switch from one paint to another quickly is a bit of a challenge when you've only got one airbrush.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Just
I've totally accessorized my airbrush.
pimp my airbrush. I like it. Um, yeah, I like the idea that people are talking about where your compressor might be with your really long cable. I like the idea that someone is just like out in the street next to you and is like following this thing, and you've just snuck it into your next door neighbour's shed or something. That you've got the compressor all the way out there.
Yeah, my neighbour's just been woken up. They normally sleep. They work nights on a Friday, so
I mean, you probably shouldn't have put your compressor in their bedroom, to be fair, but that's yeah. Oh,
in my old house, I actually had the boiler in my bedroom, which was just a very bad design flaw for the previous people who. And I actually got used to having a noisy bedroom, so I can sleep through most things.
ah. That's a handy skill to have, really.
Yeah, I can't sleep if there's light, so I have to have absolute pitch black in order to sleep.
Yeah, I it's one of those. I think technology needs to come along a bit further. I love to sleep in pitch black, but I love to wake up to natural light, which is a little bit of a challenge. Um, but
You need
technology.
a Tony Stark style bedroom where the curtains will automatically
I
open.
do, I do. But at the moment, I'm at the level of a Michael Scott bedroom. I don't know if anyone watched The Office when it was on, but he
Yes.
famously burnt his foot on the George Foreman grill because he was trying to grill himself bacon to wake up to. I don't know why I went off on that little tangent, but there we are. It's all good. But yeah, I think that's exactly. I need the technology to reach the stage where it can just automatically open up. I'll set an alarm and then it will open up the curtains or whatever. I'm sure that thing it does exist. I'm just not made of money. That's all good. But yeah,
We'll get there someday.
yeah, yeah, we will. So I have we have spoken about this briefly, so I'm not just bringing up a sore topic. But tell me about your fire station that you were doing as well.
Yeah, because you're one of the first people that I spoke to about it because we had a chat earlier on in the week. Um, yeah, so I was working on a Ghostbusters fire station. It's one of those things that I always wanted to build, not just because I never had toys when I was a kid.
You
But it's
lived
one
in
of the things.
Budlet, Middle Road.
Well,
Yeah, nah,
I won't go too much into my upbringing, but yeah,
yeah,
money was tight in the 90s,
yeah.
80s. Um, yeah, so I'm a massive Ghostbusters fan, and I'd been planning this for a while. So um, the week before last, I was actually still at work, and my spare time after work was spent doing a lot of research. So obviously, I watched Ghostbusters 1 and 2 for research purposes,
Important research, absolutely.
important research. I found out a lot of things about it as well that I didn't realise. Like, there's actually 4 holes, although only 3 are visible in the film, and they only actually use 1. But yeah, I was doing some videos, documenting my progress basically, and it became very apparent on Thursday that I wasn't going to get it done by the end of the week, and what I would get done wouldn't be what I had my expectation in my mind.
Yeah.
So I made the brave decision to basically stop work, and then I was talking to Phil, our very own Goblin Smithy,
Mm.
and I said I wasn't too sure whether to make a video about it or just delete the 2 that I'd already released. And he said, well, it would be nice to see a YouTuber who actually makes mistakes and learns from them.
Yeah.
So decided to do a video, and to be honest, that was the best advice I could possibly get from someone. because it's been a lot more popular than the first two. I've had some really positive comments, and I got a new subscriber as well, so I'm overjoyed. But I think the most important thing is I've learned so much, because I've never done any model building before, ever. And a lot of the research that I'd done was watching other YouTubers like Black Magic Craft and Wylock and Geek Gaming Scenics. And yeah, I've learned a hell of a lot, and I'm not going to completely give up. This is just going to be put on hold for now. I've got a load of materials that I can use for the next time, and it's something to look forward to, basically.
Which I think it's fantastic that you've managed to have that attitude in the first place, and I think obviously having that kind of success of that video of, I mean, you talk about it as failure, but those learning experiences, I think is really good. And I think, I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't yet had a chance to see the last video. I've seen the others, but even in those, you are learning so much and experimenting with different things, and I think that sometimes, I don't know, for me, seeing those things on like a YouTube or whatever it might be, is so much better and more helpful than just someone saying this is the way you should do it, because you can see like what the benefits and the drawbacks are of each approach. As you say, it kind of, apart from anything else, it makes it feel a bit more human rather than anything else.
Yeah, I find a lot of what happens online. Do you know that how to draw an owl meme?
I feel like I should, but I'm not sure that I can.
There's a meme which is basically how to draw an owl, and someone says, draw a circle for the head and a circle and an oblong for the body, and then part two was like, and then draw the rest of that owl.
Right. Yeah.
Sort of thing. Yes. And I find a lot of it is like that, and there is a kind of a strive for perfection. I mean, even Bob Ross pretty much did 3 paintings for every show that he ever did. One beforehand, one on the show, and one afterwards for photographing. But yeah, it's important to know your limits and to learn from what you do as well. I mean, a wise Goblin King once said to me that we're always learning.
Yep.
And I remember the first mini that I picked up when I got back into painting, which was I think it was a Dark Elf Witch, and I tried to do the flesh, and she just looked like she was melting, like melted cheese, fondue set or something. And if I gave up then, I would never have learned anything. But I can always go back to that mini and say, this is where I was and this is where I've got to.
Yeah, I lose track of what I said on different streams and things, but I think it was last week's Coffee Chat minis. Could have been before that, not really sure. But I was talking about the first mini that I painted when I got back into mini painting as an adult, which was a Reaper Bones mini, and I didn't know about all the things you had to do to prepare the minis beforehand. I hadn't washed it. I hadn't done all those things. I wasn't using proper mini paint, anything like that. And it just looks, I mean, I think I still have it somewhere. It just looks like an absolute disaster, a catastrophe. But I think I mentioned on that, actually, one of the things that I kind of found really helpful to get myself going again was at the time, kind of the first time when Michael was painting a Reaper mini. Well, at least every day. I think he painted, I mean, hundreds in that year. But seeing that going on, and it kind of, it's that encouragement to keep trying, and it's not just, okay, well, I've messed this up, I'm no good at this, which I have to admit at the time was a very strong feeling for me, particularly because historically art was never kind of my strong point. Even my painted minis from when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, were just horrifying. But seeing that stuff going on, and as I say, I mean, I mentioned on that stream how much of an inspiration Michael was to me in that time, and I think to a lot of other people as well. And yeah, it was that kind of idea of you just kind of keep going and you do what you can and you learn, and I think anyone who has reached a high level in mini painting or really anything else and thinks they're done and they've stopped learning and they don't have anything else to do is not going to stay at the top of what they do for very long.
Yeah, it's the same with like even Gorilla with a brush. He always says that he learns something new from every single model that he does. And he picks a model in order to push his own limits. And I say where he's come along, he'll happily show you his Hero Quest minis that he first did. And yeah, I mean, I've taken some lessons with him and I would say worth every penny, but to be honest, it was worth more than that. I would have easily paid 4 times what I paid for that class.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate that because he did a couple of ones for the Goblins of Mordor Discord, which he did free, which was amazing. But I did the color theory class that he did, and I did the glazing class that he's done as well. And both I learned so much from them. I think what I love about the stuff that he does is that he is great at what he does, but he's also a very good educator. He's very good at sharing that stuff, and not always being knowledgeable doesn't always mean that you can share that stuff. As someone who spent a long time in academia, I've encountered many people who are incredibly knowledgeable about things but really don't know how to share it.
Yeah, I think you learn a lot from teaching as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you don't know anything until you're teaching it to someone else.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't profess to be a great miniature painter. I tend to be a bit disappointed with the way that my videos turn out, because I find that if I've got a whole weekend to myself and I'm just focused on painting a mini, I can do a pretty bang up job. But when I'm trying to edit it and record it and everything, I tend to the editing seems to take over a little bit more. So, or the recording, or the fact that I know I'm recording.
I found the mini a day process challenging from that point of view. I'm still on course. I'm still just about painting a mini every day. Unfortunately, I've got into the bad habit of not posting them every day, so I do kind of catch ups after a few days. But that is definitely that thing of there are some minis that I've painted recently that I've been really, really proud of, and I think are some of the best minis that I've ever painted. But some of the ones for mini a day, I have to post them and just run away because I really don't like the way they look. But I think, I mean, that there's an inevitability about that. I know I've spoken to a lot of people who've said that even after many, many years of painting miniatures, unless you are spending hundreds of hours on a mini, in which case you keep working until you get it right. But if you're trying to paint at any kind of speed, there are always minis that you just don't like, or at least you don't feel like are representative of other things you've been doing or whatever else it might be.
Yeah, it's like a couple of years ago I entered a competition and painted a Harlequin, and it's easily the mini I'm most proud of. And oddly enough, that actually earned me a commission. Someone asked me to paint their Harlequin army, which was the biggest mistake I ever thought I could actually do. But I actually accepted it.
You said Harlequin, and initially I wasn't sure if you'd said Harlequin or Harley Quinn, because I know you've painted some of those kind of like Batman things as well. So.
Yeah, I've got some busts from my old 3D printer.
Yeah, but yeah. I think as I say, it's kind of all about learning and growing, which is important. But there we are. Yeah. So how's it looking on your Mortark?
I'm primed, so which is good. Now there's 2 directions I was thinking of going, and I thought I could actually ask your viewers how I should go with it.
Sounds like a plan.
So I currently have it primed in black. Now the plan was, like I said, I wanted an ebony black bone, and the skulls which are inside the rib cage, which probably isn't going to come up very well on the camera, unfortunately. I was going to use a contrast red paint, so it was like red skulls all inside there. So red and black is just like a winning combination.
Absolutely.
However, I was thinking about it this morning, and I was thinking of going with a gloss black and then using color shift paints on the bone. I don't know if that will look well, or should I go back to my keeping it black and doing just a silver dry brush to highlight all the figures on the bone. So that's the question I'm going to put to the viewers, and they can tell me what they think. So should I go color shift and dry brush, or black and dry brush?
There you go. Power's all in your hands, chat. What color shift have you got? Because I think there are different color shifts, aren't they? Because that might.
Yeah. So I think the only one that's going to really work is going to be Darth Blue. Which I'm going to obviously have to find because it's.
That's always the way. That's always the way.
However, it shouldn't be too far because I was using them on the aliens.
Ah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
Sculptor said color shift.
Yeah, we've got an early shout for color shift.
But you've also got Royal Burgundy, which might be quite nice. Like I say, we're going to try and contrast with the red skulls. So Evil Forest might be an interesting one. The armor on the dragon, I was going to do very metallic, so very metally. But we've got one for color shift.
Yeah, so. Yeah. We're looking good for colour shift so far. Maybe people have wandered off and made themselves a coffee in the meantime.
Yeah, if they have, can they make me one? Because I'm running out.
If I could share, I would. I've got my rocket fuel coffee on the go here, but you know.
Yeah.
Oh no, someone else wants coffee. I can hear it.
Do you want coffee?
I'm sure.
I think I'm gonna have to put Miles on camera so everyone can see him.
This is going to be the biggest boost to my viewership ever.
Come here. Come here then.
Oh.
Come on.
He gets to vote as well on what colour you paint your thing. Oh.
Hello.
Oh, what a sweet one.
And this is Miles.
Oh, 2 guests for the price of 1 today. I like it.
You're going to get 3.
Oh.
Gwen's looking over here as well. Sometimes Miles likes to sit on my table like that.
Ah.
So, and then Gwen? Where's Gwen? Come here, Gwen. And then Gwen is an absolute cutie.
Ah.
So,
very sweet. Very sweet.
And they're a kiss.
Yeah, they look like good friends as well, which is nice.
They are. Can you guess where they're named after? Miles and Gwen.
I'm gonna hazard a guess. There might be some Spider-Man influence.
Yes, and if I had another dog, it would be Peter.
Right. Yes.
Very good.
Yes. Yes. Funnily enough, so we've been. Yeah, there you go. You got a guess for Miles Morales. Yeah. Funnily enough, we've been watching through all of the MCU films recently because we started watching WandaVision, and then both my wife and I hadn't seen all that many of the MCU films, so we're watching through them at the moment, and we're on to Spider-Man, the first one next, Homecoming. Yeah, which I haven't seen, so that would be exciting. Yeah, so we might get round to that this weekend. Oh, that was a big yawn. It's an early Saturday morning for Gwen.
Yeah. She loves licking as well. She'll just wander up and just lick anything. I've seen her licking the wall once.
I mean, if you fed her once in a while, maybe that would be.
He's the one who always wants more food.
Oh, man after my own heart.
I don't need to set my alarm to be online for this because he will wake me up just saying that he wants food.
Very nice. Very nice. I don't know if you saw it amongst what was going on there as well, but we had another vote for colour shift from someone saying they had no idea what it was going to look like, but it sounds exciting, so we'll go for it.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing is I can try it out, and with the good thing about having the airbrush is I can do such a thin layer. If it doesn't look good, I can always quickly switch it back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I've never done colour shift through an airbrush, so that would be exciting for me to see as well.
Yeah,
I've only done brush on colour shift, which is cool. But it required many layers to do. Oh, I've got a colour shift thing right here actually. Let's see. I don't know how well it'll show up on my camera, but go on, focus. But you can kind of see. No, you can't because it's focusing on my face. Let's see if I lean out a shot. Now I can't.
Oh yes, I do remember this.
But you can kind of see ish. No, you can't. It's not going to focus. I'll show you later. I'll put my mini cam on later when it's showing down, and I'll show you it. But yeah, it's I do like colour shift, but yeah, that took so many layers, so many layers.
I'm going
Oh,
to
we
put.
got some
Yeah.
good dog chat in the things. I think it's fair to say that chat are pretty fond of your dogs.
Oh, that's interesting from Carlos. Yeah, dachshunds do have a gland which controls when they're satisfied.
Oh,
Um, he's actually supposed to be on a diet, so the vet has told me he's overweight. However, trying to reduce food to a dachshund is
yeah.
so we've had to get this special food which actually makes him more full. But yeah,
Uh, yeah, I think I must have the same issue.
is that yourself or?
Yeah, just for me. Yeah.
I've got that problem as well.
Yeah. Especially with my broken toe that I've had for the last few weeks.
How
Well,
is that healing up now?
oh, it's doing much better, thank you. It's kind of at the stage now where there's just a very slight limp, um, and yeah, it's more just like it's at that stage now where I forget about it and then I move and I'm like, oh, just remembered that really hurt, but it's not. It's not. Yeah, it's at that point. But no, it's not too bad now. Thank you. Yeah, broken toes apparently. The NHS says like 4 to 6 weeks for full recovery, and I'm at about 3 weeks now. So yeah, it's getting there. Getting there. But yeah, it does mean that I've done. I've basically sat at my desk for the last 3 weeks and done nothing else in particular.
Oh dear.
Yeah, yeah. But there we are. I'm getting on with this. You can see my Jabberwock is turning a nice green
Oh
slowly.
yes.
It's got one white foot, but we're getting there. So I've actually achieved some painting this week.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, but lots more to do. But it's all good. It's all good.
Just adding the glossy black to the airbrush, and I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah.
yeah. So a little bit of flow improver and a bit more of the thinner.
So we probably won't get to see the kind of full effect on the stream today.
No,
But
no.
we'll start to see it, and I'm sure you can
Oh, it's
share
over.
it with us.
We've got 20 minutes left, so
You reckon?
I still haven't found the dark blue yet. So
So that'll take you, the 20 minutes we got left. No, yeah. I mean, obviously, if that's the colour you're going for, then yeah, we can figure that out. Is it to go with the red? Did you say?
yes. So the colours that I've got is Solar Anomaly, Pinky Blue, Borealis Green, Evil Forest, Royal Burgundy, and I'm leaning. Oh, hang on. No, I'll just find the dark blue.
Ah, wonderful, wonderful, handy. So yeah. So does that? So are you putting a layer of black on first, and then because obviously it's black already, but are you
Yeah.
putting more on and then the colour shift, or does the colour shift go
Yeah,
straight
so
on
you
the
have to
primer?
use a gloss black, otherwise it doesn't work. And
Okay,
another
interesting.
trick that we've discovered, because I bought a cheap tin of spray gloss black,
Oh yeah.
literally for Poundland for £1. I thought I was well clever by doing that. Absolutely stinks, so I would not do that, use it indoors at all. But when I used the colour shift, it wasn't as good as I expected.
All right.
And then when I saw Michael's video where he used Vallejo gloss black, and he's like going, "Oh my god, it's a completely different colour from what it is on the brush to what it is on the model," and I'm like, "Eh." So, yeah, I decided to go with a Vallejo gloss black, and amazing difference.
Right. Yeah,
So,
I when I've bought spray paints in the past, it's one of those things like I'm not. I very much recommend going for like middle of the range. Like I don't think you need like a GW expensive primer, but I bought one similarly. I'm not sure if it was Poundland. I might have bought one from Wilco or something, but
yeah,
either way, it was very very cheap, and the effect was a bit grainy and rubbish, and it was. Yeah, it was not a very nice finish at all. So yeah, I definitely think there's a good line of middle layer that you go for at that point where the like £1 ones you're getting what you pay for, but there's no need to really go for the really expensive ones. I find that the ones that are recommended for like cars, like if you're doing a bit of touch up paint on your car or something like that, they're a bit cheaper than like a Games Workshop one, but they work really well. Good
I was
morning,
going to
welcome.
say, a lot of people say that the Halford Dome Ground stuff is very good.
Yeah, yeah. I use one that's very similar. I think it's called High Coat or something, which is fundamentally the same, except I find it a bit easier to get delivered. But yeah, it's exactly that same thing. Um, I mean, we've talked a few times on these streams about the Games Workshop, like the prices of things, and I'm not as I'm not as quick to brand them an evil corporation as some others, but there is a bit of a price markup on some of their stuff. So
Oh
yeah,
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 yeah. They've got one hell of a markup.
yeah, yeah. But there we are. But I do still to this day. I think there are still some of their minis that I do really like. So some of them are not so much, but that's the way it is with all the companies, really.
Well, like I say, I'm painting one right now. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, it's a beautiful mini. The balance of it is bloody awful though. Because sorry, language.
It's all right.
The-
I think we
yeah,
can excuse that much language.
it's only touched the base by 2 points.
Yeah.
I mean, all the weight is on this tail.
Yeah. I do think one of the issues that I have with some of the modern ones is they've kind of gone to form over function a little bit. So I was painting. Why do I always get hiccups when I'm streaming? It doesn't make any sense. Sorry. Yeah. So one of the models that I was painting, I can't remember what it was, but it might have been a Nighthawk one as well, actually. Or it could have been a Sylvaneth, so like a Wood Elfy Tree Manny type thing. But it had like 1 point of attachment to the base, and painting it was like painting like one of these like nodding, bobbly head toys. You
Oh yeah,
touch it with the brush and it's all over the shop, which does make it a little harder to paint. So yeah, I feel like sometimes there's a little bit of form over function with
yeah,
with them,
yeah.
but
I mean, I don't play that often, but I remember when I did go to a shop to play, I was really grateful that I had a bit of super glue in my bag because I was literally sticking my units back together.
wow, yeah. Yeah, I use a lot of the like plastic cement type glue with those kind of things, which I think does help a little bit. But even so, yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah,
Although that said, obviously, right at the beginning of this stream, I said I broke this guy off his base, and this is the most. I think it might have been slightly bent in the packaging, but this is the most badly weighted miniature ever from Reaper. Because as soon as I place it down, it just goes boom. He's trying to have he's like one of those birds that's
yeah.
constantly going in for a drink.
Nodding bird.
Yeah, yeah, it's a bit ridiculous. But I think probably what happened with this one is he probably got a bit bent in the packaging. But I don't dislike the pose that he's in now. But yeah, he doesn't work very well. I might have to try and even when he's on his base, he does that. So I might have to just put some weights, big heavy rocks or something on his base and try and keep him standing up. But yeah, it's all good. I'm just putting a second coat of green on now because it was a bit patchy where I was doing it before. So we're all good. How long does it take to dry a layer from the airbrush, do you think?
No time at all.
Right.
I can literally dry it using the airbrush as well. So, because I got a dual action airbrush, if I push down, air comes out, and I just gradually pull back. So I can literally just put it in its forward position with it down, and dry the paint as I go.
Oh, that's awesome. So it's kind of like a hand dryer or something,
Yeah.
or a hair dryer, I suppose.
Like I say, when I first got an airbrush, I think a lot of people said, "Oh, you're cheating," sort of thing. No, it's a completely new skill on its own.
Yeah, I've said so many times on this stream, I have no time for anyone who says that any technique is like cheating or whatever. Like it's you use whatever tools are in your arsenal to get the effect that you want.
Yeah.
And absolutely, I think as you were saying, like airbrushing has a completely different skill set to like brushing, with a brush, brushing it on. So the skill set is completely different.
But no, it's one of those things like technically dry brushing would be as much cheating as airbrushing, but
Yeah.
it isn't. I mean, and if you look at other artists, what they're doing, they're showing you techniques, and in no way would you say that Bob Ross is cheating when he uses the side of his palette knife to do a door.
Oh, I'm quite sure some people would say that.
Yeah, probably someone who would do that, but no, it's a technique, and everything's a technique.
Yeah, and
Um,
it's every
I don't
time.
like to call myself an artist, and to be honest with you, if my art teacher knew what I was doing now, well, first of all, I'd say, who the hell's Andy O'Toole? because I don't think they'll remember me that much.
But I think it's the same time anything new comes on. Like when I first started painting, I'm trying to think like the amount of washes that are around now definitely didn't exist. There probably were something along those lines, but there are people who say like using just ink washes, that's cheating.
Yeah,
If you do that, you do that. That's cheating. Dry brushing, cheating. The new like contrast paints that have come out recently, cheating. Like, just let people enjoy it. Let people do what they want to do. I think there are absolutely, there are. I think for most people, you would struggle to get as good a look using like a contrast paint rather than doing it all to different layers yourself. But as a way of achieving an effect, why does anyone matter? Why does anyone care if you're doing that kind of stuff? Oh yeah, absolutely. Carlos says buying different coloured paints rather than mixing it all yourself, cheating.
yeah.
Like, yeah. I think it's as with all things in kind of nerd culture. Really, it can get very gatekeepery. I don't have any objection to someone saying this technique is not for me and I don't want to use it. Obviously, they're entitled to say that. But anyone who looks down on someone else's art because they use techniques that they don't approve of or whatever, no, I don't have any time for that at all.
No, I don't have time for anyone like that.
Yeah.
I switched over to the brush because I obviously haven't used enough flow improver, and I've got dry kit.
Oh, I'm gonna leave that one well alone, and not since
Yeah.
we're on a family stream.
And there's some people who can work out there.
Yeah, that's all good. That's all good. So are you on the gloss at this point?
Yeah. So what I've decided to do is there's a couple of ghosts at the bottom, and I thought, seeing as they're going to be caught with the gloss anyway, I thought I might should try something else, like using maybe the Borealis Green or the Solar Anomaly.
Very
Two
nice.
paints that I've probably haven't been open, to be honest, and get a colour shift on the ghosts as well, because I was thinking about doing a Tesseract Glow. But no, it just made sense to give that a go.
Yeah. Yes. Someone say the only cheating, as far as they're concerned, is if someone claims to have painted something themselves and they actually haven't. Which absolutely, I completely agree.
Yeah.
I don't think that people necessarily need to paint their own stuff so long as they're open about it. If that's the same thing as stealing someone else's artwork in any medium, isn't it? It's the same thing.
Yeah, there's a portrait of my old girlfriend who I did, and that's being hung in the Louvre at the moment.
Just for a second, I thought you said it's being hung in the loo, and I funnily enough didn't get the joke, but I got there eventually. Don't worry. Oh dear. Yes. There's a portrait I did, but it's up in the attic, aging as we speak. Yes. There we are. So I'm pretty much at a point where I'm relatively happy with this coat of green on my guy. Oh,
Yeah.
it's quite dark, so you can't see it too well, but we're getting there.
I've glossed him up really good. He looks like he should be in the Aliens film now.
Oh, he's got a bit. It looks like there's a bit that's maybe coming a little bit detached there as you hold him up. It looks like he's wobbling a bit.
That bit is supposed to move.
Ah, okay.
And this is the bit that fell off while I was.
Exactly what we were saying before about the challenges of some of the miniatures, but it's all good. Yeah. What time are we on now? Oh, it's 10:50. Oh, okay. So we'll have to wrap up relatively soon so that people can get on with their weekends. But as ever, it's been good fun just chatting and painting. You better have a shout out for your YouTube channel, because obviously we were talking earlier about your learning videos on there, but there's lots of other things. There's lots of things about airbrushes as well, aren't there?
Yeah, so I've got an airbrush series which has proved quite popular. My original video, which I did on the 10th of April, so we're coming up to a year of me being a YouTube person.
An influencer.
I think just YouTuber at the moment.
Okay.
Is when I start telling people when I need to start going to hotels and asking for free nights. Um, yeah, so, and I recently did a video going back to my original video and bringing up some of the comments that people have said, because the original video opened me up to a load of interesting and wonderful people who were actually really, really helpful.
Awesome.
So I've been able to expand upon that. I also do interviews. So there's some interviews with some very interesting people. I need to get Carlos on the show at some point. Carlos, and yourself. So I think Carlos would be an excellent person to interview. But I've actually got an interview coming out next week with an amazing painter who's known as Gondas on Twitter. His name's Glenn. Lives in the UK, and he's mostly known for being his work's so good it's normally shown on the Warhammer Community Showcase.
Awesome.
But he's actually a big supporter of smaller companies like yourself.
Oh, very nice.
I know he got the Mighty Lancer Games Advent calendar and did a mini a day over Christmas, which was fantastic, and he really loved the Reaper miniatures. And he also champions other companies as well. So it's a really interesting interview, actually.
Awesome. So that's coming out in the next kind of week or so.
Mm-hmm. The Bald GM would like a random fact.
I know. I didn't want to interrupt you while you were talking, so we'll do that. But I'm gonna say if you feel like giving a random fact about yourself as well, since you're on here, you don't have to. It's completely optional.
Oh, totally on the spot. I don't think I could think of anything.
I'm gonna go for I used to work as a bouncer a few years ago, and I once had to ask an international rugby player to leave the bar that I was working as a bouncer in. There you are. There's my random fact for you. Yeah. You'll have to. Someone else will have to redeem another one if you want me to tell you who it was.
Oh.
That's how I get you. Speaking of, Scorpla's just redeemed it. There you go. So
I'll give a quick one for free.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. It looks like Scorpla's already redeemed it, so she needs her money worth.
So the rugby player that I had to ask to leave was Colin Jarvis, who I think he'd just retired at the time, but was previously captain of the Welsh rugby team. But also in the bar at various times we had quite a few England players. So I went. This was a student bar in Durham, and Durham likes to think it's really posh, so it has lots of the like a lot of the old rugby players kind of went there because rugby players tend to be posh in the UK. So we had like Will Greenwood was there at one point. Johnny Wilkinson came in at one point, but Colin Jarvis is the only one that I had to ask to leave. But it was only because the people that he was there with were out of line. He actually was a complete gentleman, and I have to say, thankfully, he just took the group with him when he left, because I didn't fancy trying to do anything else. So yeah, he was a complete gentleman. It was just the other people who were there with him who were being poorly behaved. There you are.
Free random fact for me, so they don't have to redeem anything. I used to work for a video game company, retailer called Electronics Boutique.
Ah, yes.
Which became known as Game. And I worked in the Brent Cross branch, which was, Brent Cross is a huge shopping centre in London near the M1. And I got to meet quite a lot of famous people because it was right near the EastEnders studios.
Oh, I didn't know that was around there.
And one of the most interesting people I actually met was Johnny Vegas, who popped in once looking for a guide for Genma Onimusha on the Xbox.
Oh, brilliant. That's a great fact.
Also served quite a few footballers as well. Mm-hmm. I served Patrick Kluivert in the Newcastle shop when I moved up here.
Wonderful.
I didn't know who the hell Patrick Kluivert was at the time, so all I knew there was this big guy who seemed to be spending a lot of money and had kids following him.
Oh, so maybe one of them was Justin Kluivert, who now plays for Roma, I think.
Maybe.
Patrick Kluivert's son plays for Roma. So. And
I actually served David James on the till as well, while he was West Ham's goalkeeper.
Ah, there you are. Yeah. So yeah, I bet you were a little bit kind of starstruck at that point.
Oh yeah. I handed his credit card back and he dropped it.
Proper proper England goalkeeper stuff. I was actually going to make a joke about whether you just thrown him his stuff to see if he caught it, but yeah.
No, he was in with his sons.
Right. I don't know anything about David James's sons, so I'm afraid I can't offer you anything on that one. But yeah,
Johnny Vegas was lovely. But
I used to.
it was around about the time of the ITV digital adverts and the
With
PG
Monkey.
ones.
Yeah, Monkey.
Yeah, someone started Monkey.
Yeah. Oh, good times. I used to play football in Brent Cross, so there's another random fact for you. Not a very good random fact, but random fact nonetheless. There we are. Right. Well, it's just about 11 o'clock, so I think we should probably wrap it up. Thank you everybody in chat as well for being so good. But thank you so much, Andy, for joining me, and as ever, just having a good chat. I did say just before the stream when we were just making sure the technology was working, I should have been trekking harder apparently with the volume issues. We were saying it's probably a good job we did it today because Man United are playing West Ham United tomorrow, so we might not be talking to each other for a few days after that, depending how it goes.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I think you should just let us have the win because.
Oh, really?
Well, the thing is, it's like, can you really see you guys catching up to Man City?
No, but I can really see us going behind the teams who are like third and fourth. So I'm not fifth because the team that are fifth are rubbish. But but yeah, we were joking. So Andy was saying a few days ago about. Sorry, I was trying to read chat and talk at the same time. So, yeah, Andy was talking a few days ago about the fact that he has so many Goblin doubloons in the channel that he nearly owns me. So I was joking about having a reward for like 10,000 Goblin doubloons, where I have to say something nice about West Ham United on a stream for him to work towards. But it's all good.
I've got 4.4k.
Oh, I reckon Bellalurian might have more.
I think Bellalurian will have.
But
have
I think
more.
you're probably you might well be second place.
Yeah.
But there we are. Awesome.
I'm saving them up.
8.6k from Bellalurian. Wow. I mean, he's nearly at the stage where I can say something nice about West Ham United, but I think that probably doesn't mean much to him. So it's all good. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Andy.
Thank you, Hamish. It's been an absolute pleasure. Love coming on here.